On September 10, 2025, Evergreen, Colorado, a peaceful mountain town, was forever changed by a tragedy at its high school. The day began like any other, with students attending classes, chatting with friends, and planning their weekend activities. The serene atmosphere of the town, nestled in the mountains, gave no hint of the horror that was about to unfold. What started as a normal day turned to chaos when 16-year-old Desmond Holly opened fire inside the school around lunchtime. The sound of gunshots echoed through the hallways, sending students and teachers into a panic. Desmond, a student at the school, had brought a firearm into the building, and within moments the school was in lockdown. 2 students were critically injured before Holly took his own life, leaving the community in shock and grief. Emergency responders arrived swiftly, but the damage had already been done. The injured students were rushed to the hospital, and the school grounds became a scene of chaos and sorrow. The attack shattered the town's sense of safety and forced Evergreen to confront the reality of school violence. Parents anxiously waited for news of their children, and the entire community was left grappling with the question of how such a tragedy could happen in their peaceful town. As we examine what happened, we aim to honor the victims and understand the factors that led to this devastating event. The community came together in the days following the shooting, holding vigils and memorials to remember those affected. Flowers, candles, and heartfelt messages lined the school fence, a testament to the town's collective grief and resilience. We'll explore the timeline, the investigation, and the community's response to this tragedy. Through interviews with students, teachers, and law enforcement, we seek to piece together the events of that fateful day and understand the impact it has had on Evergreen. Join us as we delve into the story of a town forever changed by an unimaginable act of violence. The attack began at 12:24 p.m., right in the middle of the bustling lunch period at Evergreen High. The cafeteria was packed with students laughing, chatting, and sharing stories, completely unaware that their lives were about to change forever. The hallways echoed with the sounds of lockers slamming and sneakers squeaking on the tile floors, a typical day suddenly shattered by violence. Desmond Holly, armed with a revolver, entered the school with a chilling sense of purpose. He moved through the halls, firing indiscriminately at windows, lockers, and anyone unfortunate enough to cross his path. The sharp crack of gunfire rang out, sending students and teachers scrambling for cover as panic swept through the building. In those terrifying first moments, students and staff reacted with remarkable speed. Hearing the shots, they quickly enacted lockdown procedures, locking doors, turning off lights, and hiding out of sight. Teachers ushered students into classrooms, urging them to stay quiet and out of view, while the chaos outside grew louder. Holly tried to enter several classrooms, rattling door handles and pounding on doors, but was blocked by the simple act of locking up. Desks and chairs were pushed against doors, and students huddled together in corners, holding their breath. These quick-thinking measures, though basic, saved countless lives that day. Inside the barricaded rooms, fear and uncertainty gripped everyone. Students texted frantic messages to loved ones, letting them know they were safe or asking for help. Teachers did their best to keep everyone calm, whispering reassurances and reminding students to stay silent as they waited for help to arrive. The first 911 calls came within moments of the initial shots. Dispatchers worked quickly, relaying information to law enforcement as officers raced to the scene. Police arrived rapidly, entering the building with urgency, determined to stop the threat and protect as many lives as possible. As officers closed in, the tension in the hallways was palpable. Before police could reach him, Holly turned the gun on himself, ending the rampage but leaving behind a trail of trauma and heartbreak. The shooting lasted only a few minutes, but for those trapped inside, it felt like an eternity. When the gunfire finally stopped, relief mixed with overwhelming grief. The impact of those minutes will last a lifetime for the students, teachers, and families affected. After the threat was neutralized, police methodically cleared the school room by room, ensuring everyone's safety. Students and staff were escorted out, many in tears, as the community began to grapple with the aftermath of an unthinkable tragedy. Desmond Holly was a 16-year-old student at Evergreen High, a place where he was known to be quiet, often keeping to himself in the hallways and classrooms. Teachers described him as intelligent but withdrawn, and classmates recall that he rarely participated in school activities or social events. Beneath this reserved exterior, however, Desmond was struggling with feelings of isolation, and searching for a sense of identity and belonging. Like many teens, Desmond spent countless hours online, but his digital world became a gateway to extremist content. He was radicalized by a steady stream of hateful propaganda, conspiracy theories, and violent rhetoric that he encountered on fringe websites and social media platforms. The internet, meant to connect people, instead became a place where Desmond found validation for his darkest thoughts. Investigators found his social media filled with white supremacist and anti-Semitic material, including posts that praised hate groups and shared disturbing memes. He followed accounts that promoted violence and engaged in online discussions that further fueled his anger and resentment. There were also references to past mass shootings, which he seemed to study obsessively. He shared articles and videos about these tragedies, sometimes expressing admiration for the perpetrators. This digital trail painted a chilling picture of a young man who was not only influenced by extremist ideology, but also inspired by real-world acts of violence. Holly's descent into hate was gradual, fueled by online communities that glorified violence and offered a twisted sense of belonging. In these echo chambers, he found people who encouraged his views, making him feel seen and accepted for the first time. The more he engaged, the deeper he fell into a world where violence was normalized and empathy was absent. His family, shocked and devastated, is cooperating fully with authorities. They say they never saw the warning signs and are now left grappling with guilt and confusion, wondering how the boy they loved could be drawn into such darkness. They hope that by sharing their story, they can help other families recognize the subtle signs of radicalization before it's too late. Investigators are piecing together his digital footprint to understand how he was influenced and whether others were involved. They are analyzing chat logs, social media interactions, and encrypted messages, searching for clues about the networks and individuals who may have played a role in his radicalization. They're also looking into how he obtained the revolver used in the attack, tracing its origins, and investigating whether anyone knowingly or unknowingly helped him gain access to the weapon. This part of the investigation is critical to understanding the full scope of what happened. Holly's story is a stark warning about the dangers of online radicalization and the need for vigilance. It highlights how vulnerable young people can be to manipulation and how quickly they can be drawn into dangerous ideologies without anyone noticing. Understanding his path is crucial to preventing future tragedies. By learning from Desmond's story, communities, schools, and families can work together to spot the warning signs, foster open communication, and create safe spaces for young people to seek help before it's too late. Evergreen High's regular lockdown drills proved vital during the attack. Teachers quickly secured doors, turned off lights, and guided students to safety, following the protocols they'd practiced. Locked doors stopped Holly from reaching more victims, highlighting the importance of simple safety measures. The calm leadership of teachers and the discipline of students made a critical difference. These drills, though stressful, gave everyone a sense of control in a terrifying situation. The event is a powerful reminder for schools everywhere. Preparation saves lives. While we hope such drills are never needed, Evergreen's experience shows their value. The community's commitment to safety made a real difference on a tragic day. 2 students were critically injured in the attack, casting a shadow over Evergreen. 18-year-old Matthew Silverstone was identified as one victim. His family has asked for privacy as he fights for his life. The second victim's name remains undisclosed to protect their privacy. Both remain hospitalized, and the community has rallied with vigils and support. Recovery will be long, both physically and emotionally, for these students and their families. Counselors are available to help them and the wider student body process the trauma. The community's focus is on compassion, not sensationalism. We join Evergreen in hoping for their full recovery. Their courage inspires a town searching for hope. A multi-agency investigation began immediately, led by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and supported by federal partners. Investigators are analyzing Holly's digital devices to trace his path to radicalization and identify any accomplices or influences. They're also working to determine how Holly obtained the revolver. Another key question: was the attack random or targeted? Holly's family is cooperating, helping authorities build a timeline of his behavior. Investigators are searching for missed warning signs and points of intervention. The goal is not just justice, but lessons to prevent future tragedies. Every detail matters in understanding and stopping the cycle of violence. The shooting sent shockwaves through Evergreen, shattering its sense of safety. Parents rushed to reunite with their children, relief mingling with grief for the victims. The community responded with vigils, support groups, and fundraisers for the injured. Local churches and centers opened their doors for those seeking comfort. Social media filled with messages of solidarity under #EvergreenStrong. The tragedy has sparked tough conversations about school safety, mental health, and online extremism. Evergreen now mourns together, united in sorrow and resolve. The path to healing will be long, but the community's resilience shines through. Leaders at every level responded swiftly, offering condolences and support to Evergreen. Governor Jared Polis praised law enforcement and school staff, promising resources for recovery. Sheriff Jackie Kelly commended the bravery of students and teachers, emphasizing the importance of lockdown procedures. The FBI pledged to uncover the extremist influences behind the attack. Official statements have reassured the public and set a tone of compassion and resolve. The focus remains on supporting victims, investigating thoroughly, and helping Evergreen heal. As Evergreen begins to heal, the focus is on supporting students, staff, and families. The school remains closed as officials plan for counseling and increased security. Returning will be difficult, but the community is determined to rebuild a sense of safety. The investigation into Holly's radicalization continues, prompting broader discussions about digital safety and mental health. Evergreen's response, vigils, fundraisers, and acts of kindness shows its strength. The tragedy will always be part of the town's story, but so will its unity and resilience. Together, Evergreen faces the long road to recovery, committed to hope and change.